If you're over 60 and mornings feel unpredictable, you are not alone. Many seniors say the same thing. They wake up, and for the first part of the morning, their body just doesn't feel steady. Blood pressure feels different. The heart feels more noticeable. The head feels heavy or unclear. Some mornings feel calm. Other mornings feel uncomfortable. And most people don't understand why. What makes this confusing is that these sensations often fade later in the day. By mid-morning, you may feel mostly normal again. This leads many people to think, maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just age. Maybe I shouldn't worry. But the first 30 minutes after waking are not like the rest of the day. After 60, this short window becomes the most unstable period for blood pressure, heart rate, and circulation. And understanding this window can change how you experience your mornings. During sleep, the body is in a protected state. You are lying flat. Gravity is not pulling blood downward. The nervous system is calm. Blood pressure is usually lower and steadier. The heart does not need to work as hard to supply the brain. This is how the body rests. But the moment you wake up, everything begins to change. The body must transition from rest to activity, from lying down to upright, from calm to alert, from low demand to higher demand. This transition does not happen instantly after 60. And during this transition, blood pressure can feel unstable. It may rise briefly. It may fall briefly. It may fluctuate. These fluctuations are often not captured by numbers. They are felt first. That is why people say, I don't feel right, but my blood pressure looks okay. The body is not failing. It is adjusting. But after 60, adjustment takes more time and requires more support. The first 30 minutes after waking are when the nervous system is reactivating. Hormones that promote alertness begin to rise. Blood vessels must tighten appropriately to keep blood flowing to the brain. The heart must respond to gravity again. All of this happens at once. When coordination is slightly delayed, symptoms appear: lightheadedness, unease, a sense of pressure or weakness, a faster or more noticeable heartbeat. These sensations can be alarming. If you don't understand what they mean, some people rush to measure blood pressure immediately. Others panic and stand too quickly. Some avoid movement altogether. Unfortunately, these reactions often make symptoms worse. The problem is not that something dangerous is happening. The problem is that the body is being rushed through a sensitive transition. After 60, the body does not like to be rushed. This is not weakness. It is physiology. In this video, we are going to explain exactly what happens in the first 30 minutes after waking. We will talk about what the body experiences in the first few minutes, why blood pressure can feel unstable, how the heart and circulation respond, the mistakes that increase morning discomfort, and what actually helps the body stabilize safely. We will also explain when morning symptoms are normal and when they deserve medical attention. This is not about fear. It is about clarity. Because when you understand what your body is doing, you stop fighting it. And when you stop fighting it, mornings become easier. Let's begin by looking at what happens in the very first minutes after you wake up. The first 5 minutes after you wake up are very different from the rest of the morning. And after 60, these 5 minutes carry more weight than most people realize. This is the moment when your body begins its most difficult transition of the day. During sleep, your body is in a protected state. You are lying flat. Gravity is not pulling blood downward. Blood flow to the brain is steady. The heart works efficiently with minimal effort. Your nervous system is calm. Blood pressure is usually lower. Heart rate is slower. Breathing is regular and shallow. This is not weakness. This is rest. But the moment you wake up, the body must switch modes. And this switch does not happen instantly after 60. The first thing that changes is the nervous system. During sleep, the parasympathetic nervous system dominates. This is the rest and repair system. It slows the heart. It relaxes blood vessels. It conserves energy. When you wake up, the sympathetic nervous system must gradually take over. This is the wake and respond system. It increases alertness. It tightens blood vessels. It raises blood pressure just enough to support standing and movement. In younger adults, this shift happens quickly and smoothly. After 60, the shift becomes slower and less precise. For a few minutes, both systems may be partially active at the same time. This creates confusion inside the body. The heart receives mixed signals. Blood vessels may not tighten evenly. blood pressure regulation becomes unstable. This is why many seniors feel off. Before they even move, you may still be lying in bed, yet something already feels different. A slight heaviness in the head, a subtle uneasiness, a feeling that your body hasn't fully come online. This is not anxiety. This is delayed coordination. Now let's talk about circulation. While you are lying flat, blood is evenly distributed throughout the body. When you wake up, the brain still receives enough blood because gravity has not changed anything yet. But the body is preparing for what comes next. Standing. Blood vessels in the legs and abdomen must tighten in advance to prevent blood from pooling downward. After 60, this tightening response is slower. The muscles in the blood vessel walls do not respond as quickly as they used to. So during these first minutes, the body is vulnerable to sudden changes. If you move too quickly, blood may temporarily leave the brain faster than it can be replaced. That creates lightheadedness or weakness. But even without movement, the body senses this upcoming challenge. This anticipation alone can trigger symptoms. Now let's talk about hormones. Within minutes of waking, the body begins releasing cortisol. Cortisol is often misunderstood. It is not a stress hormone in the bad sense. It is a wake-up hormone. Cortisol raises blood sugar. It increases alertness. It supports blood pressure. After 60, the timing and intensity of cortisol release can change. Some people experience a sharper rise. Others experience a delayed or uneven response. Either pattern can feel uncomfortable. A sharper rise may feel like inner tension, faster heartbeat, restlessness. A delayed response may feel like sluggishness, heaviness, mental fog. During the first 5 minutes, the body is trying to find balance. And until balance is found, sensations appear. Another important factor is breathing. During sleep, breathing is slow and shallow. When you wake up, breathing often becomes irregular for a short time. You may hold your breath without realizing it. You may breathe faster than necessary. This affects oxygen levels and blood vessel tone. Subtle breathing changes can intensify the off feeling. This is why slow, conscious breathing in the first minutes can help. It stabilizes the nervous system and gives the body time to adjust. Now, let's address an important misunderstanding. Many people think the first 5 minutes feel bad because something dangerous is happening. In most cases, that is not true. What is happening is incomplete transition. The body is not failing. It is simply slower to adapt. The problem arises when people react to this feeling by rushing, standing up immediately, checking blood pressure right away, moving too fast to test themselves. These actions increase demand before the body is ready. That makes symptoms worse. Another factor to consider is hydration. During sleep, the body loses water through breathing and sweating. After 60, total blood volume is more sensitive to dehydration. By morning, blood volume may be slightly reduced. This makes blood pressure regulation harder. During the transition, even mild dehydration can amplify morning symptoms. This is why the first few minutes should be gentle and supported. The body needs time to restore balance. One of the most reassuring things to understand is that these sensations often resolve on their own. If you lie still for a minute or two, breathe calmly, and then sit up slowly, the body usually catches up. This tells us something important. The system still works. It just needs time. In the next part of this video, we will look at what happens when those first 5 minutes turn into the next stage of the morning. We'll explain how blood pressure and heart rate continue to fluctuate and why the next 25 minutes matters so much. Understanding the first 5 minutes is the foundation, but learning how to manage the full 30 minutes is what truly changes your mornings. Once the first few minutes after waking have passed, the body enters the next phase of adjustment. This is where many people notice the most confusion. Blood pressure may feel high one moment and low the next. The heart may feel slow, then suddenly more noticeable, and circulation can feel uneven. This does not mean something is going wrong. It means the body is still adapting to being awake and upright. To understand this, we need to look at how blood pressure, heart rate, and circulation work together during this window. Blood pressure is not a single, fixed number. It is a moving response. It changes based on posture, movement, breathing, hydration, nervous system activity. In the first 30 minutes after waking, All of these factors are changing at the same time. That is why this period feels unstable. Let's start with posture. When you move from lying down to sitting or standing, gravity suddenly pulls blood toward the lower body. To compensate, blood vessels in the legs and abdomen must tighten. This tightening helps push blood back toward the heart and brain. After 60, this response is often slower and less coordinated. Blood vessels may tighten unevenly, or with a delay. For a brief moment, blood pressure at the brain may drop, even if arm blood pressure appears normal. This creates symptoms such as lightheadedness, heaviness, a sense of weakness. At the same time, the heart tries to compensate. Heart rate may increase slightly. To maintain blood flow, this can feel like a flutter, a stronger beat, or simply a more noticeable heartbeat. This sensation often worries people, but in most cases, it is a normal compensatory response. The heart is doing its job. Now let's talk about why blood pressure readings can be misleading during this time. If you measure blood pressure very early, you are capturing a moment of transition. The body has not yet reached a steady state. Blood pressure may be lower because circulation has not fully adjusted, or it may be higher because the nervous system is still activating. Neither reading tells the full story. This is why doctors often recommend waiting before measuring. A reading taken too early can create unnecessary worry. Another factor is breathing. Breathing patterns strongly influence circulation. Slow, deep breathing supports stable blood pressure. Rapid or shallow breathing can cause fluctuations. In the first 30 minutes, many people breathe irregularly without realizing it. This can exaggerate symptoms. Holding the breath while standing or breathing quickly due to unease affects blood vessel tone. The result is a feeling of instability. Hydration also plays a critical role. Even mild dehydration reduces blood volume. With less volume, blood pressure regulation becomes more difficult. After 60, the kidneys and thirst signals are less responsive. You may not feel thirsty, even when your body needs fluid. This is why mornings can feel harder. Blood pressure may drop more easily, or fluctuate with small movements. Now let's discuss heart rate. Heart rate and blood pressure are closely linked. When blood pressure falls, heart rate often rises to compensate. When blood pressure rises, heart rate may slow slightly. In the first 30 minutes after waking, this balance is still settling. The nervous system is switching from rest mode to activity mode. Signals between the brain and heart may briefly be out of sync. This can feel uncomfortable, even if it is not dangerous. Another important concept is circulation distribution. Blood does not flow evenly to all parts of the body at all times. During sleep, circulation favors the brain and core. When you wake up, blood must be redistributed to support movement. Muscles, joints, and organs require increased blood flow. This redistribution takes time. During this process, some areas may temporarily receive less flow. This can create sensations such as cold hands or feet, heaviness in the legs, mild unsteadiness. These sensations usually resolve as circulation stabilizes. One of the most confusing aspects of this period is inconsistency. One morning feels fine, the next feels difficult. This variability is influenced by sleep quality, stress levels, hydration, medication timing, temperature. It does not necessarily mean your condition is worsening. Understanding this variability reduces fear. Now let's talk about what makes this period worse. Sudden movement is one of the biggest triggers. Standing quickly demands immediate adjustment before the body is ready. Checking blood pressure repeatedly can increase anxiety and nervous system activation. This can actually raise blood pressure or exaggerate symptoms. Consuming caffeine immediately can also amplify fluctuations. Caffeine stimulates the nervous system before circulation has stabilized. For some people, this worsens morning discomfort. Another factor is mental stress. Worry activates the same system that controls blood vessel tone. Anxious thoughts can tighten blood vessels and raise heart rate. This is why reassurance matters. Knowing that these sensations are part of a transition changes how the body responds. Calm reduces demand. Demand reduction allows stabilization. The most important takeaway from this part of the video is that the first 30 minutes are a process. Blood pressure is adjusting. Heart rate is responding. Circulation is redistributing. This process cannot be rushed. Supporting it, rather than fighting it, leads to better mornings. In the next part of this video, we will look at hormones and the nervous system in more detail. We will explain why hormonal signals amplify these effects, and how aging changes the timing of activation. This understanding will help you see why mornings feel intense, even when numbers appear normal. To truly understand why the first 30 minutes after waking feels so unstable after 60, we need to talk about the nervous system and hormones. This is where many of the morning sensations begin, not in the heart, not in the blood vessels, but in the signals that control them. The nervous system has two main branches. One helps the body rest and recover. The other prepares the body for action. During sleep, the resting system dominates. Heart rate is slower, blood pressure is lower, muscles are relaxed, breathing is calm. This allows the body to repair itself. But when you wake up, the balance must shift. The activating system begins to take over. This shift is essential. Without it, you would not have the energy to stand, move, or think clearly. In younger adults, this transition happens quickly and smoothly. After 60, the timing becomes less precise. The resting system may stay active longer than needed. At the same time, the activating system may come on too strongly or too suddenly. For a short period, both systems are active at once. This creates internal conflict. The body receives mixed messages. Relax. Be alert. Slow down. Speed up. This conflict is felt as discomfort. You may feel calm but weak, alert but uneasy, awake but not fully ready. This is not anxiety in the emotional sense. It is physiological overlap. Now let's talk about hormones. Hormones are chemical messengers that travel through the bloodstream. They tell the body what to do. In the morning, several hormones rise to support waking. The most well-known is cortisol. Cortisol helps raise blood sugar, increase alertness, support blood pressure. It follows a daily rhythm. Levels are lowest at night and rise in the early morning. After 60, this rhythm often shifts. Cortisol may rise earlier, or it may rise more sharply. Some people experience a sudden surge. Others experience a delayed response, followed by a quick catch-up. Both patterns can feel uncomfortable. A sudden surge can create inner tension, faster heart rate, a sense of urgency. A delayed response can create heaviness, fog, difficulty getting started. Neither pattern is dangerous by itself. But when combined with posture changes and circulation shifts, sensations become more noticeable. Another important hormone is adrenaline. Adrenaline prepares the body for action. It increases heart rate. It tightens blood vessels. It sharpens focus. In the first 30 minutes after waking, adrenaline helps the body become upright and mobile. After 60, the body may become more sensitive to adrenaline. Smaller amounts can have stronger effects. This is why a mild stimulus, standing up, checking the clock, thinking about the day, can feel exaggerated. Adrenaline is not always triggered by fear. It can be triggered by anticipation. Even the thought of movement can activate it. This is why some people feel uneasy before they even leave the bed. Now let's talk about the nervous system pathways involved. One of the most important is the baroflex. The baroflex helps regulate blood pressure. It senses changes in pressure and adjusts heart rate and vessel tone. After 60, this reflex becomes less responsive. It still works, but it reacts more slowly. When you change position, the baroflex may lag behind. For a brief moment, blood pressure is not perfectly controlled. The nervous system notices this and compensates. But during that delay, symptoms appear. This is why sensations are strongest in the early morning. The system has not fully recalibrated yet. Another factor is sleep quality. Poor sleep increases nervous system sensitivity. If sleep was fragmented, the activating system may turn on too strongly. The body is trying to overcome fatigue. This can intensify hormonal release. Stress also plays a role. Chronic stress changes how the nervous system responds. It lowers the threshold for activation. After 60, stress recovery is slower. Morning transitions become harder. This does not mean stress is the cause. It means stress adds to the load. One important reassurance is that these systems are adaptable. They respond to patterns. When mornings are rushed, the nervous system learns to overreact. When mornings are calm and predictable, the system learns to stabilize more quickly. This is why routine matters so much after 60. Not because you are fragile, but because your system benefits from preparation. The nervous system likes signals of safety, slow breathing, gradual movement, predictable steps. These signals reduce unnecessary hormone surges. They allow cortisol and adrenaline to rise in a controlled way. Now, let's address a common misunderstanding. Many people think that because hormones and nerves are involved, the problem is mental. That is not true. These processes are physical. They affect blood vessels, heart rate, and circulation. The sensations are real. Understanding this removes shame and self-blame. You are not imagining anything. Your body is communicating its needs. The final and most important point is that this morning instability is usually temporary. As the nervous system completes its transition, balance returns. Blood pressure stabilizes. Heart rate settles. Circulation becomes even. This is why many people feel much better. Later in the morning, in the next part of this video, we will talk about the common mistakes that interfere with this process. Simple habits can either help the nervous system settle or keep it in a state of overreaction. Learning what to avoid is just as important as learning what to do. By this point, you understand that the first 30 minutes after waking are a sensitive transition period after 60. The nervous system is adjusting, blood pressure is stabilizing, circulation is redistributing. Most morning discomfort does not come from something going wrong. It comes from well-intentioned habits that place too much demand on the body too soon. Let's talk about the most common mistakes that quietly make mornings harder after 60. The first and most frequent mistake is getting up too fast. Many people wake up and immediately sit up or stand. They do this because they have always done it that way. For decades, the body tolerated it. After 60, the same movement creates a much larger demand. Standing quickly forces gravity to pull blood downward immediately. The nervous system has not yet fully activated. Blood vessels have not tightened evenly. The result is a temporary drop in blood flow to the brain. This can feel like lightheadedness, weakness, visual dimming, an uneasy sensation. People often respond by rushing more or grabbing something to steady themselves. This adds stress instead of support. The mistake is not standing. The mistake is standing without preparation. The second common mistake is checking blood pressure too early. Many seniors wake up and immediately reach for the cuff. They want reassurance, but early readings often create the opposite effect. In the first 30 minutes, blood pressure is still changing. A reading taken during this transition may look higher or lower than usual. This single number can trigger worry. Worry activates the nervous system. The nervous system changes blood pressure further. Now the number looks even more confusing. This creates a cycle. One reading leads to anxiety. Anxiety leads to more readings. More readings lead to more fluctuation. The problem is not the device. The problem is timing. Blood pressure should be measured after the body has reached a steady state. Early readings rarely represent your true baseline. Another common mistake is holding the breath while moving. This happens without awareness. People hold their breath while sitting up, standing, or walking to the bathroom. Breath holding increases pressure inside the chest. This temporarily reduces blood return to the heart. Blood pressure and heart rate can fluctuate. The brain may receive slightly less blood. This intensifies morning symptoms. Slow, steady breathing is one of the simplest ways to reduce morning instability. The next mistake is reaching for caffeine immediately. Coffee, tea, or energy drinks are often the first thing people consume. Caffeine stimulates the nervous system. It increases alertness, but also increases heart rate and blood pressure. In a body that has not fully stabilized, this stimulation can feel overwhelming. Some people experience jitteriness, palpitations, increased unease. This does not mean caffeine is bad. It means timing matters. Caffeine works best after the nervous system has already settled. Another mistake is starting the day with stress, checking the news, checking messages, thinking immediately about responsibilities. Mental stress activates the same system that controls blood vessels and heart rate. The body cannot distinguish between physical and mental demand. Stress in the first 30 minutes tells the nervous system to stay on high alert. This prolongs instability. Protecting the first part of the morning from unnecessary stress has a powerful effect on how the rest of the day feels. Another subtle mistake is remaining inactive for too long. Some people respond to morning discomfort by avoiding movement altogether. They stay in bed longer or sit still for extended periods. While rest is important, complete inactivity delays circulation adjustment. Muscles help push blood back to the heart. Gentle movement supports stabilization. Avoiding all movement keeps the system in limbo. The key is not activity versus rest. The key is gradual movement. Another common issue is dehydration. Many people limit fluids in the evening to avoid nighttime bathroom trips. By morning, blood volume may be slightly reduced. This makes blood pressure regulation harder. Some people avoid drinking water in the morning because they fear worsening symptoms. In reality, small amounts of fluid often improve stability. The mistake is waiting too long to hydrate. Another overlooked factor is medication timing without awareness. Some medications taken at night are still active in the morning. Others taken in the morning may have immediate effects. This does not mean medication is wrong, but taking medication without considering how the first 30 minutes affect you can increase discomfort. Any concerns about medication should always be discussed with a healthcare provider. Never change medication on your own. The goal is awareness, not self-adjustment. Another mistake is assuming something is seriously wrong. Every time symptoms appear, fear itself changes physiology. When you believe something dangerous is happening, the nervous system reacts accordingly. Heart rate increases, blood vessels tighten, symptoms worsen. Understanding that most morning instability is part of a transition reduces fear. Reduced fear allows the body to settle faster. One of the most important points is that these mistakes are common. They are not signs of poor judgment. They are habits formed earlier in life that no longer fit the body's needs after 60. Adjusting habits is not failure. It is adaptation. In the final part of this video, we will focus on what actually helps. We will outline the safest, calmest way to move through the first 30 minutes after waking. We will also explain when morning symptoms are normal and when they should not be ignored. Understanding what to avoid sets the stage for knowing what to do. By now, you understand why the first 30 minutes after waking are such a sensitive time after 60. Nothing is wrong with your body. It is simply transitioning more slowly and carefully than it used to. The goal of this final part is not to add rules or restrictions. It is to give your body what it needs to complete that transition safely and calmly. Let's walk through the safest way to move through the first 30 minutes after waking. This is not a medical protocol. It is a supportive routine, and small changes here can dramatically change how your mornings feel. The first few minutes. Waking without rushing. When you first wake up, do not think about standing yet. Give your body a moment to recognize that it is awake. Stay lying down for a short time. Let your breathing settle. Slow, gentle breaths signal safety to the nervous system. You are not being lazy. You are allowing coordination to begin. During this time, blood vessels are beginning to respond. Hormones are rising gradually. The nervous system is shifting. This short pause prevents unnecessary shock to the system. Sitting before standing. When you are ready to move, sit up slowly. Let your legs hang over the edge of the bed. This position allows gravity to begin redistributing blood without overwhelming circulation. Remain seated for a short time. You may feel a brief sensation in the head or body. That is normal. What matters is that it resolves rather than worsens. If you feel steady, you can proceed. If you feel unsteady, stay seated a little longer. The body often catches up on its own. Gentle movement, not stillness. Once standing, avoid freezing in place. Gentle movement helps circulation complete its adjustment. This does not mean exercise. It means light, natural motion. Walking slowly, shifting weight, stretching gently. Muscles act as pumps. They help move blood back toward the heart and brain. This reduces pooling in the legs and improves stability. Avoid sudden changes in direction. Everything should be smooth and deliberate. Breathing as a stabilizer. Breathing plays a larger role than most people realize. Shallow or irregular breathing can worsen morning symptoms. Slow, steady breathing supports blood vessel tone and heart rhythm. You do not need special techniques. Just avoid breath holding. Let breathing stay calm and continuous. This alone can reduce lightheadedness and unease. Hydration without overload. After sleep, mild dehydration is common. You do not need a full glass of water immediately. A few sips are often enough to support blood volume. Hydration helps blood pressure regulation without stressing the system. If you take medications, follow your provider's guidance. Never change medication timing on your own. Awareness is the goal, not self-adjustment. When to measure blood pressure. Blood pressure should be measured after the body has reached a steady state. This usually means waiting until you feel settled. Early measurements often reflect transition, not baseline. Waiting reduces confusion and unnecessary worry. Numbers are tools, not judgments. They work best when used at the right time. What to avoid in the first 30 minutes. Avoid rushing. Avoid heavy mental stress. Avoid caffeine immediately if it worsens symptoms. Avoid repeated checking or testing. These actions increase demand before the body is ready. Support first, measure later. When morning symptoms are normal, it is normal after 60 to experience mild lightheadedness that resolves quickly, a heavy or slow feeling that improves with movement, brief heart awareness without pain, a sense of unease that fades as the morning progresses. These symptoms reflect adjustment, not danger. They improve with time and routine. When to seek medical attention. Some symptoms should not be ignored. Seek medical evaluation if morning symptoms include fainting or loss of consciousness, chest pain or pressure, severe shortness of breath, sudden weakness on one side, new confusion or speech difficulty, vision changes that persist. Also seek help if symptoms worsen over time, episodes become more frequent, symptoms appear at other times of day, falls or near falls occur though. Patterns matter more than isolated sensations. Trust your observations. The most important takeaway, after 60, the body values preparation over speed. The first 30 minutes after waking set the tone for the rest of the day. When you respect this window, the body responds with stability. When you rush it, the body protests. This is not fragility. It is wisdom built into physiology. Understanding this turns fear into confidence. Confidence calms the nervous system. A calm nervous system stabilizes circulation. Stable circulation improves how you feel. That is the cycle you want. This video is part of a larger picture. If you have experienced feeling off in the morning, normal blood pressure numbers with discomfort, sudden morning blood pressure changes, these videos are designed to be watched together. Each one explains a different piece of the same process. In the next video, we will look more closely at what happens in the early morning hours, including why blood pressure may spike or drop between 3 and 5 a.m. after 60. That understanding builds directly on what you learned here. If you are over 60 and want calm, clear explanations about blood pressure and morning health, this channel is for you. Not to scare you, not to overwhelm you, but to help you understand your body as it changes. Consider subscribing so you don't miss the next part of this series. And remember, most morning discomfort after 60 is not a warning sign. It is a request for patience.